Hi everyone, it's been a while once again. I sort of got into the habit of getting some videos done after a very long break, and then things happened, life happened, um, family things happened, and I got out of the habit again. I know the last video I uploaded was about an envelope journal that I was making, and I think I called it part one. Well, part two hasn't happened. It might happen again because I know I haven't done any more work on it, but I've been doing some Christmas things, and so I thought I would just show you very quickly what I've just decided to make tonight. This is the prototype that I've made, and I've used the the set from Tracie Fox. It's called her Festive Compendium MK5, and I know there's lots of other people have been using it and finding it good. I do like her stuff. She's different name on Etsy, but I will have that link below. It's something about I love junk journals or something, but that's not quite right. Anyway, there's lots of nice collage pages, and the different designs are repeated on there, and then some background designs. So what I've done is taken some of them and backed them using some book paper just as a substrate to make them a bit stronger. You get all of those papers, you get some tags of varying different sizes, which I've already sorted out. I've again backed them this time just onto some cardstock, some buff cardstock, so that it can be written on the back, and you can see that the different designs are repeated. Some other little cards, some smaller tags, and these little tiny ones here, so you can mix and match them. So what I did was made like a little booklet. Inside I've attached one of the larger tags, just left it to be written on. Made a wee pocket, put one of the medium sized tags in there, one of the little cards, and all of them can be written on. So I've been making some things that I'm going to share with people where I work, and I think, well, it's sort of a replacement to a regular Christmas card, but it needed some places where people could write, because I'm not sure that they're going to understand what's going on. Maybe you could do with something here as well, or maybe just a little thing on here. I'll have a little look and decide, but I think that's quite cute, and hopefully people will like them. So I've got the second one ready. I have done quite a bit of the work on it because I don't want you to sit around watching me gluing things. Unfortunately, the glue stick that I've got at the moment is not very good. My decent one ran out because I've been making quite a few things for Christmas. What I've been doing is, for a few years now, I've been doing some fundraising at the school where I work. I started off doing some fundraising for an event that one of my children was taking part in, and I have a sponsorship for a World Vision child, so I thought, well, I'll make that something that I can fundraise for and help. And usually in my class I get the kids to do a little activity where they do their big Santa letter, what they would like, and then we realise that some of the time some of us are a little bit greedy, and when we add up and explore and find out how much all those things will really cost, and so we do a little bit of fundraising and buy some things through World Vision to give to children in other places who need things. So that's what some of this is going to go towards. Hopefully people where I work will buy them. So I've chosen one of the papers, and I guess the main thing is to check that I haven't repeated the designs, because they do repeat on the papers and the tags and the little cards, and obviously that was already backed with that, even though you're not going to see it because it was part of this card. It came on there, something about Christmas mints. So that's going to be where the tag goes in, but I'll put it on that way. I think that's the one I chose. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe that's the leftover bit. This is the bit I've got ready. It's going on there. We'll put this tag here and tuck these other things inside like I did with the other one. So as you see, I've just rounded those corners. You don't really need to embellish it with a whole lot of other things because it's already got that, all that nice collage work's been done for you on the digital. Now I quite still like using just ordinary old masking tape because I want to put this on so it flips out. So I'm just going to put a bit of masking tape on here. Maybe put it on my tag. Get it lined up nice and neatly. So it's just lining up there so it can flip over. So I think what I'll do is, now I've got some washi, some gold with some stars on it, and I'll put a little bit on here, wrap it round just so it holds it, and also you have got the sticky because a little bit of sticky just there covers up that edge where it's joined, and just add something to that. I know a lot of people put glue on their washi. I don't think I ever have, and I've never particularly had any problems with it. It's a little bit out of line. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's all that's happening there. I will maybe just put a little bit of inking around there just to make that back of that card's stock not look quite so plain. Now what I will do though is just put a bit of inking on this masking tape as well. On my other one I put a bit of red ink on that side to match the paper. I don't think it's going to matter with the green one. I think it's fine. Oops. Got lights and things flying everywhere. Okay, so I'll also just do a little bit of inking on these. It's not much. It's just to take away the plainness. It's that sort of thing that you wonder if anyone ever notices, and in some ways they don't really need to notice, but I know it just looks a little bit better. It's like putting a border on something. It's not necessarily hugely noticeable, but you just know you've framed it, and it does actually add something to it. Okay. Right, so this one here is going to get glued onto there. I did sew around that, and I probably will do that as well on this one. I just sewed around just to make sure that the little pocket was held on securely, and I'll do that again on this one, but I'll just do it off camera later. So just a little bit of tiny bit of glue, and I'm using the art glitter glue just because it actually dries nice and quickly when you're filming. I quite often just use a tacky glue, which I also have in one of these little needlepoint bottles. You don't need a lot, especially if you know you're going to sew around it. Just make sure I have got it so that it's far enough away from that crease so it still can close, but I'll just match it up at those edges. Okay, so that's going to be fine. So say I'll sew around that in a minute. Make you watch that. This is very quick. That one. This one I've just cut one of these little tiny tags. Again, just making sure it's not one of the ones that's sort of appearing anywhere else on this particular card. Bit of glue. I had thought I could raise that up on a little sticky three-dimensional thing, but then I thought it might get caught when it was going in and out of the pocket. Just a little something to finish that off. Can be written on. And again with this tag, which I will just put a little bit of ribbon on. This ribbon I've got is just some sort of bias binding that I found really cheap in one of our local stores, and I've just it was white. I know I watch people from overseas using all this seam binding and they get it in all the fancy colours. Our seam binding here is different, and it's not really good for doing what we're doing here, but I just happened to find this and it was something like 20 cents a metre, so I just bought it, and I dyed it I think I used probably some, either the distress ink, or maybe it was might have even been with this one, the frayed burlap, although it doesn't look like the right colour. Not sure. And I think there was some other colours on my mat when I did it, and it's got some green and bits in it. It's just a neutral colour. So just going to pop it through there. And pull it through. I don't want it too long. Snip a little bit off, I think. Right, put it in there, put the other one in, maybe just angle it so we can see the bird, pop that up a little bit, and it's that simple. So a lot of the work's done for you when you get these, and you know, they're not terribly expensive to buy. It's probably, I think, cheaper than buying a big pad of paper, because the books I've got that I'm backing this on to make it a bit firmer cost me basically nothing, and I can print that and reuse it. So I will just sew around that, and I might go and grab some of the other things I've been making and just show you a few other things. Okay, so I have sewn that, and so I've got both of those finished now. I only sewed around this side where the pocket is. I didn't think I needed it in the other one. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, although I don't know, maybe I will. It was because this tag was here, I'm thinking it might constrain that, but actually if I did it around there, yeah, I'll have a think about that. I might do that. I don't even know if people will notice, but again, I know it's there. Okay, so I've made quite a few of these things that, again, it was Tracie Fox at Love Junk Journals, that's what her shop is called on Etsy, and last year she gave away on her Facebook group quite a few, well, all her December daily printouts, and it was sort of a bit late for me by the time I got those, so I didn't actually make them, but this year I have made them, and this is the first one with a little tree, which I'm thinking I might actually do with my class, and they can have a photo there and give it to someone, put their name and the year on the back. I think it'd be quite cute. Might even see if I can figure out how to make it just a little bit bigger for them. So I've made several of these ones that open out, the trifold with a little bit of a difference, and I've made several of these ones. So there's quite a few. This one has a little pull out. I've put a charm on it. The actual pull out has a little pull out pocket tuck in there. This one's a complete trifold, opens out, it's got quite a few different tags in it. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I've made them all or not, because it was just whatever I actually had printed out and decided to use. That one's got a little window, the tag. Might have to think about where someone would write on that one. Oh, maybe they could write in the window. That would be a little surprise, because that's what I'm always thinking of. If people are actually going to buy these instead of a more traditional card, they might not quite know what to do with them. But I've got that little box of goodies, made my little box, so that's cool. With those, in the last few days I've purchased these ones from my porch prints, and I quite like this one. It's got lots of tags. I've basically followed what she did for the first time I was making it. Some little things clipped on. Get the back in there, get in there, and it opens out again. Little things, so that this is a complete printout that's got places for people to write on all these tags. Not sure if people are going to quite get this, because I guess if you give it a card as a card, it is Christmas themed, so whether people will know what to do. Some of the junk journals I've made, I've done a little explanation about what people could do with them, because I guess we sort of make them just for the fun of making them quite often, but if people are going to buy them off me, they might want to think what they actually do with them. So I did quite like that, and I quite like the size of that one. So then I purchased this one, and because I quite like the sort of muted tones of it, turned out it was quite a bit bigger, and in some ways I prefer the smaller one, but had a heck of a lot of ephemera with it. In fact, I haven't put it all in here. I've got several tags that I haven't put in because it was just getting so fat and bulky. But I do quite like it. There was quite a lot of things to back and make. There were a couple of places where I realised I didn't need to make it quite as thick. And in some ways, some of these things where the pockets go, you've actually covered up some quite nice things. But as I say, I was just giving it a go, sort of following how they've done it, and if I want to adapt it, if I make it another time, I can do that. So lots of places, nice list, naughty list, just all tucks in there. And there's full explanations on how to make these. I think for me, both of these cost about $5, $5.50 or something in our currency to buy them. Be cheaper in American dollars. But that's not too bad when you know you can use it again and again. And even if I manage to sell one of these, I will have made my money back. This one's nearly ripped out, I think. Little envelope. Just put one of the cards in there. And again, lots more tags and things at the back. And as I say, I've got quite a few tags and things that I didn't even put in. It just didn't seem as if it needed it. It was pretty bulky. So quite pleased with those. See how they go, or maybe if no one wants them, I can give them as gifts myself. So that's lots of things that I've been doing. So hope you've enjoyed seeing some of those, and I'll try and get back into the swing of making a few more movies. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.